Hello everyone, welcome back to my shop. This is Josh here, 55210. Appreciate you stopping by. It's been about a month since I put my last video out. I'd been thrashing away on the truck for a car show goal, ran into a big snag with the steering, so that kind of held me up for a few weeks. I've been putting stuff together while I can, just having a bunch of stuff pop up, life getting busy, what have you. But getting back going with the filming again, I kind of just needed to focus on doing the work without kind of the time that it takes to film and edit and all that. So that's why I had a little break. But right, it's time to get back into videos, and specifically time to get back into Tri-5 videos. So the channel's been, having the pickup on it for about 1.5 years as I've been putting that thing together. I just wanted to get a lot of the parts that I had for that truck out of the way, get it put together so I can get more room back, basically. So time to get going again on Tri-5, and I have a new one to start working on in place of an old one. So some of you longer channel viewers might remember 2 summers ago I'd grabbed a 57 Chevy 4-door sedan, 210 of course, to get put together for my wife, and we were trying to make her cousin's wedding, actually, also while she was growing pregnant. So interesting goal. But that particular car had an issue where I didn't fully get the paperwork taken care of with the previous seller. It was more on his end than mine, and then he wound up having some legal trouble and spending some time in a penitentiary, unrelated to our issue. But that whole deal fell through. I had to get rid of that car. It's a whole mess, and it's left a bitter taste in my mouth from that particular deal, and also taught me some lessons, so I learned from it. But I've been looking since then for another 57 4-door, and also like affordable. People are putting kind of some stupid prices on things on like Marketplace and whatnot for starter projects, but and they're missing parts, they've been blown apart. I found a fairly complete 57 4-door sedan, and here it is. So I'm really excited about it. It's got a lot of the parts, and we'll do a walk around here real quick in a minute. But I think I'm going to switch over to the video I shot about 5-6 weeks ago when I went and picked this car up. Shot some footage on the way up, kind of explaining the same thing with the situation with the previous car and some of the other stuff that I got going around, so to kind of catch up on some projects and all. And then I was wanting to do a walk around of the car when I loaded it up out at their place, and they were willing to do that, have me do it. But the guy had a lot of family there at the same time when I was picking it up. They were all interested in seeing who was coming to pick the car up and everything, so we get along well. I plan on stopping by their place again once I get it put together. But we'll switch over to that segment, and then at the end of that portion where it says, hey, we'll be looking around the car at their farm, we'll come back and do the walk around here. So stick with me, watch that segment, and we'll be back and do the walk around on the car here shortly. I am currently driving on a country road in north central Missouri, looking to add another vehicle to the 55210 fleet. So it's not like I don't have enough projects on my plate, but I've been browsing around for quite a while, ever since I had the deal fall through and had to trade off the 57 4-door sedan that I was working on back in 2022. So I put out a decent number of videos on that car, and then the guy I was working with buying it, he kind of flaked out on me, and then wound up getting himself arrested for something unrelated to what we're doing, and wasn't able to finish up getting his title paperwork for it. So he kind of messed up the paperwork on the car, and I wound up trading it for parts. So I've been on the lookout ever since for another kind of neat patina original 57 Chevy 4-door sedan on purpose. I want the 4-door. So that's what we're going to grab. I found a 57 210 four-door sedan, and we're gonna go pick it up. I'll give you a little update on the channel, where things kind of slot in, what my plans are, and let you know kind of what I got coming up. So at the moment I'm thrashing to put together my 85 step-side C10 pickup for a car show coming up in 2 weeks. And I'm actually losing a day working on that truck project to go and grab this, but I've been having this in the works for about 6 weeks, and I only found out about that car show coming up a week ago. But I'll be putting out videos as I'm working on thrashing to put that thing together, the pickup. And then once the car show happens, I think I'll do the majority of the finish work and buttoning that thing up kind of off camera. And we're going to switch back to the Tri-5 content that everybody knows and loves. And it should be this car. So I've got an engine and transmission that I've had for a while that I think would be perfect to make this thing into a cruiser. I've got parts galore left over that I kept from the previous 57 that I was working on. So I've got a steering column, I've got a wire harness, I've got a fuel tank for that thing, I've got like tubular front control arm kit, speedway disc brake conversion for the front, a bunch of stuff that I've already got. So I should be able to start just parts mashing on that thing once I get it here. So I'm excited to get that going, and I'd love to have that car running and driving by the end of the summer, just so I can have a Tri-5 to actually be driving around while I'm taking my time and doing a really detailed job putting the 55 210 together. So that's the immediate plan coming up, is just a couple more weeks of truck videos, and I'll start putting out 57 Chevy videos. So when we get up to the car here, we'll see what the material condition of the car is beyond the pictures I see on Facebook Marketplace. It looks pretty solid, but you know, in person you might see rust holes in a rocker panel that you can't see from a kind of a zoomed out picture, and they didn't have a picture of like the floors and stuff, and oftentimes that's something that needs replaced, is, you know, full floor pan. So I'm kind of prepared to do that job, which I actually really like doing. But get that put together real quick, and then I'd like to jump back starting late summer, early fall, once I get the 57 up and driving, pick back up where I left off almost 2 years ago on my 55 Chevy project, and keep moving that thing forward. That one I've been doing, you know, a really detailed job touching up every little thing, you know, getting in and cutting out any little rust holes or things that are even, you know, hidden inside the, like the bottom of the A-pillar repair that I did on the passenger side, where I cut everything apart just to get to one panel on the inside that was rusty, rather than just ignoring it, which is something I might do on this 57. If it's not a structural issue and I can drive it around for a few years and then get around to it later, that's kind of what I'm going to do. Yeah, I want to get the 55 up and going this fall, and then maybe work on that 56 two-door post, kind of interspersed with it. The 56 four-door sedan, unfortunately, it ran into some paperwork issues and stuff as well. I'm not really going to get into it, but that one, because of that, it's a parts car, and that's kind of what it was from the guy that I bought it from. He had the 56 two-door that had good paperwork that he knew, and he had the 56 four-door that was kind of sketchy, but he didn't fully explain that to me. I got to find it on my own. So the good news is, for me, I don't have to go scrounging around to find a front clip to put together for the 56 two-door, because I can take all the parts off that four-door for it, and I can cut up like the roof and quarter panels and stuff to get patches for the two-door car that I need from the four-door, and save a little money. And then I can sell some of the trim parts and stuff from it that I don't need, anything that I don't need for the two-door to get put together, I can kind of sell off for other people who do need parts and kind of fund the project. But after all this kind of shuffling and everything, what we're going to wind up having on the channel is the 55-210 that started the channel, 56-210, that's another two-door post, and then the 57 four-door sedan. So we'll have one of each Tri-5 Chevy year, which I'm pretty excited about, and two two-door sedans and one four-door sedan, and all of them are a 210 trim. So anyway, I'm still about an hour away from this guy's house, but when I get there, we'll pick this back up and do a little walk around of this car before I load it up on the trailer. Well, here's the new addition to the 55-210 fleet. Got a nice starter on the project of a 210. Got a cracked windshield, or cracked window on the side here, and a little bit of a smoked windshield. So I will be getting some new glass, but it's got the trim on there. This piece is missing, but I have it from the 56 donor, so that's good. It's got the little Chevrolet badge on the side. Bumper's intact. Got some peeling chrome, but the guy was kind enough. He gave me actually a new center section and a new right piece here to replace these, and a pair of 14-inch wheels as well. But got the Chevrolet script on this side, all the trim except for these two front pieces, and those are sitting in the back seat. So looks like a good starter. I'm not gonna unstrap the hood, but it has an uncut radiator core support top bar, which I'm really excited about. And then the headlight bezel on this side is busted, but he's got another one as well. But yep, everything's looking good. The hood hinges are not bolted together, but they're there. So anyway, time to get on the road and head back. It's about a 3.5 hour drive back home. So when we get back home and pull it off the trailer, there's not really much to look at in the trunk or anything, but I might do a clean out video of the stuff that's inside the 56 two-door. We'll see. But anyway, let's get this thing back home and get back to work on the fleet. So this was an original V8 3-speed car, and it doesn't have the engine or transmission in it anymore. But it does have an uncut core support, and I was so happy that they did not cut that when they pulled the engine out of this thing. You know, that's what holds your fenders on the top side, maintains the distance from the left to the right side, and sets your gap with your hood and stuff. So I'm really glad they didn't cut that and take it off. You know, this car, I think, is a pretty nice, complete starter for a build. It's still got, you know, trim pieces on it. Some of them are broken. You know, the headlight bezel here is broken, but the seller did send me down the road with another one. Now this one has a crack in it, but I can just either try and braze that or like JB weld it or something on the inside, and that'll be good enough if it looks just like this and holds together and matches. So it's just better than having the big gap piece there. But just got a little Bondo repair that was there from before. Not the worst thing in the world. I'll probably knock that down, do a little bit of a metal work underneath, apply some epoxy primer to it, and maybe trying to patina blend it in, but I'm not going to go real crazy on the body work and such. The rockers are actually pretty solid. There's a little dent there and a little hole in the back, but not really fully rotted out. So I'm just going to patch whatever little hole needs to be done at the moment. Same thing here. It's got the whammo, pardon me, in the fender, but I'll put a lower fender on here and just leave it kind of rough for the moment. I'm wanting to do a mechanical work on this car and get it running and driving, you know, mechanically reliable. You know, put new glass in it, put some newer seats and stuff in here, but I'm not gonna take it and blow it completely apart, sand everything down to metal, prime it, paint it, do all that, and take the time right now. I just want to get it up and running this late summer, so I have something fun to drive around in the fall, and actually be able to drive one of these Tri-5s around while I'm working on the other stuff. And then eventually I can take it and bring it in and give it the proper you know, body work attention and paint that it deserves. But at the moment, I'm gonna enjoy having a patina car to drive around. So we'll do a little look around on the inside here. It's got a fairly decent floor on this side right here. I mean, it's not all completely crushed or rotted through. I mean, there's a hole here. It's a little crunchy, so I'll need a little patch there. And I gotta pull the seats here to see how it looks on the back. You know, it was kind of just, they've unbolted the seat and it's just loose there. But it's got the trim pieces. It's got those two bullet pieces for the front fender. I think I might need to just get one piece right here for the door if it's not hiding in here somewhere. But they sent me down the road with a lot of parts. The rear looks pretty good. The trunk lid itself, it's got some rot and is a bit crunchy here. So I might drop the trunk lid that I got from the 56 four-door on here. But like, the sail panel is not all rotted out like I'm used to seeing. It actually looks fairly decent. So kind of get in here, vacuum some stuff out, put some new seam sealer in from the inside. Looks pretty good. And the trunk itself, I mean, this trunk floor looks just fantastic. Like, I don't have to cut this out at all. You know, that 55 was half cut out and half rotted, so I had to go along the entire seam and clean everything up and put a whole new trunk floor on it. This car, it's solid and good, which is just fantastic. The bumper has some chrome coming off, but the seller sent me down the road with another center bumper section and the right end piece for the holes there. So that's great. Yep, looks like the hood hinges are right here in the trunk, so I can pop those on. And this looks like the piece that goes on the door. So I got all the trim pieces I need. I just need to knock some of the bumps out with my trim hammer and dolly. Not the worst thing. It's going to have some wrinkles to it, but I want it to match the rest of the car's age and patina, you know, so I'm not going to be putting brand new trim pieces on it until and unless I paint the whole thing, you know, and really get it up going, you know, high end. But the steering wheel here actually has the horn ring to it, so that's great. None of the other cars had that. And the keys are still here in the ignition, so that is great. So I'll actually be able to get that out. As most of you probably know, but some of you might not, with the Tri-5s, you don't have to have the key in the ignition to turn it. The key just turns it to the lock position and unlock, but you also need to have the key to turn it past that point and use your little pin to remove the lock cylinder from the whole ignition piece. So yeah, on the ones that I don't have the keys for it, it's going to be kind of a pain to get that out of the dash. I think I got to drill the lock mechanism out in order to separate everything. So having a key with it is fantastic. And I have the title for this car already in my name. All the paperwork went through, and it went through in only 3 days. I applied for the title on a Tuesday, and I had the new title in my name in the mail on Friday. Fantastic. So this thing's fully mine, fully ready to go. Will not be duplicating previous mistakes, and we can get back going on a 57 four-door build series, because I've got plenty of viewers that have asked questions and were following along with the previous one, and when it stopped abruptly, I'm sorry to disappoint you guys from before, but I won't be able to pick back up where we left off. So I'm going to grab the hat because it is bright sunny out, and you know, let's even though it's hot, start taking some of the stuff out of this car and see what we got to work with as far as the floor goes, and what kind of work we need to do to it. you know, overall, the floor doesn't look too bad. The back here is pretty crunchy. That's about the worst spot. Underneath the seats, or the rear seat here, looks pretty good. That section is solid. The driver's section is just kind of, there's a little bit of rust right there. I can poke my finger through where it was real thin there, and some up here. So I'll need a patch pan for that spot. Passenger side front has a little bit there, and then this back one here. But the rest of it I think is solid enough to leave as is. So looks like just a couple of patch panels here. Yeah, the fill piece for that hump, the forward section there, and the floor pieces. So not so bad. Should be able to get that done in a day or two. So cool. So roomy when you take the interior out, right? And then I was actually kind of excited with this seat that I pulled out. Seems like it's the top part of the back seat is always gone from the UV damage. So this upper section where it wraps around the top, I never have that piece to make a pattern from. I think I grabbed one that has just enough of a segment left and get kind of a measurement and just extend it all the way around. But the seat bottom here for the back seat is actually really nice as far as being able to get a pattern from it. So this section is there, so there's a little bit missing, but it's enough to interpolate where it needs to go. And then, yeah, it's continuous all the way around. And then I can use this piece to mirror image on that side. So, have enough to make a pattern for the rear seat. Now we'll get this moved out of the way here. And the front seat looks like it's got original cover, this kind of interesting lime green color. But, you know, there's enough of it down here up to there, so that dimension would be like the same all the way across. Then the dimension from here all the way around to that part is there, and even though it's kind of tattered here, you can see where the seam started and goes down. So that's kind of enough if I had to use that one. Same with the bottom, but it had a couple other covers with it, so I'll grab these and lay them out. You can have a look at it. I mean, one's got a bunch of tape on it, but there's a seat bottom piece that seems decent enough. And then this is like a seat back cover for the front seat that was on there. And then there's an entire another one that's really nice looking right here. This one really looks good. And I'll set that up. So there's the back, like cigarette, like ashtray hole. Still got the wire inside of it. And the front side all the way down to where the hog rings go. I don't know if this is factory or a factory type replacement, but I think I actually have enough pieces to make patterns to sew the upholstery. So I've got some upholstery ordered for that, custom, non-factory style. I've got a surprise for that one. Some people are probably going to hate it, but I'm gonna have fun with it, especially since it's a 4-door. People don't seem to care as much, so it's my car anyway. I'm gonna do what I want, but that surprise is coming up later. But yeah, this is really exciting that I had enough pieces here. So I need to figure out if I want to grab like a molded foam kit for that, which is upper and lower for front and rear bench. Kind of pricey. Or if I just want to go get some sheets of the high density foam and put that on here. It's like an inch on the back and like 2 inches or so worth of it in the front section, and that kind of replaces this cotton batting and burlap. I'll put some heavier fabric other than burlap that won't be falling apart underneath. On this previous seat that I've done, I actually used a carpet remnant for the seat bottom to hold all the foam and stuff in place and not have the springs tear it up, and that seemed to actually work really nicely. But I don't have any more carpet remnant, but I don't know. Let's see if I know anybody that just had carpet hood in their house, and maybe I can get some. But door cards are rough, but that's okay. Yeah, the trim is here on it. Same for the front there. That kind of outline trim is there on the front and rear over here. So I think I should be set up. Like I said, the trunk looked pretty good. I need to pull some of the rest of the stuff out of there and have a look, but I don't think I need any patches in there from what I've seen so far. But well, let's just go ahead and pull it out while we're doing it right now and have a look. I'll get the camera set up in the shade and time lapse, and we'll pull this stuff out and have a look around. This looks fantastic. There's a little bit of surface rust, but I see like one little hole right there. That's about it. So I'm gonna get in here and wire brush. Looks like there might be one like right here as well, but really not bad at all. This looks really good. So yeah, get in here and vacuum out that little trough and kind of fill that in with some seam sealer. Re-seam seal the edges here after I chip some of that away. Probably put down some rust converter and wire brush the stuff. But even look at the spare tire well here. That isn't even rusted through or even dented. This trunk is fantastic. The wheel wells aren't rusted out. Like, there's a little bit of like surface falling there, but I think I just hit it with a wire wheel and it'll look fantastic. So really starting to get excited about this thing. So yeah, anyway, I think that's going to be about it for this one. Not an overly long video, just kind of a kickoff. But tell me what you think. Tell me how maybe you would build one if you've got one like this. Would you put an automatic and a small block Chevy, or a big block, or a LS manual? I'm putting a manual and keeping that pedal in there. But yeah, tell me how you'd go, and give me some input on your thoughts on this car build. I'm pretty excited about it, so excited to hear what you guys think. But thanks for watching, and next time you see me, we'll be working on this car. Take care, everyone.